alone with guitarist and great musician Rene Interview, whom I had the pleasure of meeting this week. And many of you have probably heard of him. And I haven't met him before, and I just wanted to chat with him about his attitude to guitar playing, music, and life, and the life of the guitar. So, hello Rene.
Hello, Andrew.
Tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Havana, Cuba. There's a small village on the east side of Havana called Coquimac.
And did you learn guitar in Cuba?
Yes, I started playing guitar. I started playing guitar when I was 10, just chords.
Yeah.
And started classical guitar when I was 14. Yes.
And did you move after that, or how
no,
did you?
I lived in there until I was 20 years old when I left Cuba. So I will just ride my bike to school.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes, I'm back every day. So it was, it was a great childhood, very healthy and beautiful.
And where did you move to? Where do you live now?
After that I left to the US, lived in Miami for a couple of years,
yeah.
And went to graduate school in New Haven, Connecticut, Yale University, and lived in New York. And I'm at the moment living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Fantastic. So who were your teachers, your early teachers?
Well, we have Fernando Lopez, Marta Cuervo, Isaac Nicola. I worked with Isaac Nicola, yes. And Jesus Ortega was my teacher at the university. I worked with Leo several times whenever he was in Cuba. He never gave regular lessons because his busy career.
Yeah.
You know? So he will always give us kind of master classes. He will come to the university and work.
And in America, did you have lessons there?
I had in Miami. I met Carlos Molina, and I worked a little bit with Carlos Molina. And then at Yale, I worked with Benjamin Berry.
Yeah.
And after that, I took many lessons. Well, I shouldn't say I'm a product of just one teacher, because even in the Havana International Guitar Festival, the first one I attended was, I think it was 84. And I used to go to the master classes and see, all these great, amazing guitarists.
Would you say it's important to have several teachers?
I think so. I think so. It opens your mind to one opinion. It's important to follow one teacher, to work with one.
Yes.
But you need to be open, and your teacher should be open as well.
Correct.
To let you experience, because there are some things that may have not noticed your teacher, and then somebody would tell you and would shed light into a problem, and it would be beneficial for. I do that with my students all the time.
So with your own students, do you encourage them to study with other people?
I tell them that they must study with other people.
It's interesting that you have that in common with Xu Bao, the Chinese teacher, because he always encourages his students to study with other people.
Yeah.
And I think, a good teacher will always want to open the doors for their...
Well, it helps me improve too, because there are things that I may not see, and then when they come back to me, I tell them, so how was the lesson? What did he tell you? Then we discuss what my opinion may be of the matter. I still let him try and see if we get any results, because there's all path lead to Rome.
Yeah.
There's not just one straight way.
So yourself, your playing is really beautiful. I think it's very musical, and I was just wondering if you had any ideas on how to develop technique. I know that you watch people very carefully, and you can actually understand the technique by watching. How would you ask? Advise people to...
It started just because in my own playing, I had a lot of questions and I had no answers. So I had to start searching. I stopped looking out for answers and I started looking in for results. And then through experimentation, I read and did a lot of technique books, just go through and see what was useful or not and what would fit my needs. Technique, we need to. It's a dangerous path because I have students that what they realize that they are lacking in several areas, then they just want to focus on technique and get better at that, and they started to forget that it's just the means to, make music, not just an end. So what happened is like, as long as you, what I call applied technique, if you understand what is the concept, then there's no reason for you, for example, to work in tremolo heavily if you're not playing any tremolo in your repertoire at the very moment. So I just try to use music as a guide, like the problems that you encounter with the piece, as the type of issues that you want to have in your technical routine, because that will address what you will be doing on the repertoire, and you will see a direct correlation right there.
So what level students do you have?
I have graduate and undergraduate students at UWM, and it's pretty actually high. The program is 10 years of existence.
In Wisconsin?
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm pretty happy with the results that we're getting. We're getting better players, As we get more results, better results, people want to come. So it makes the whole environment very productive.
Do you have any material you use just generally with your students? Anything?
I just don't use one thing in particular, because I think that some methods that are very good, they go too quickly from one aspect to another one. So you need to just find a balance in between. Well, what I do is I have a folder with etudes. Etudes for that, etudes for this, a scale for arpeggios for that. And then I kind of like know, so I need you to do this etude by Koster, that by Awau, this by Sor. Or Kanyang, or more modern, or Brouwer. I always make them. All my students need to play like Brouwer first, like 28 is simplest.
Yes. So that is, in a way, that is something that you would always use.
I would like, because the thing is, they're simple but they're very specific. So it's not very time consuming.
Yes.
And it's like haikus. Haikus, problematic haikus, and then riddles, and then you just have to work it within a minute and 10 seconds, and make it function.
What do you think is the most important thing about being a student when you practice?
Well, being attentive. It's not amount of hours that you put, or rather when you keep your head. What I do, I suggest all of the students not to sit down and try to do long practice sections, but rather very short and succinct ones. Like, let's say you're going to do 20 minutes, and then you're going to stand up and take a break. Because after that, your brain is going to just be doing a thing in routine, like mechanically, and you're no longer listening attentively. And you think you're practicing a lot, but in fact you're not.
So when you practice yourself, do you have a program of work? What are you working on at the moment?
Well, I'm just gonna play. I never played the Rossiniana, so I'm gonna do 2 or 3 of them. And I want to record a whole Spanish CD. So I've been adding more Spanish music into Tres Piezas Españolas, Antonio José Sonata. Most likely I'll play also the lesser known pieces like Soy Compostelana by Monpont. It's not played very much anymore, and of course Albeniz and Granados are always great music.
And it's just that we heard you in your concert play a wonderful Debussy transcription and some Scarlatti afterwards, which is. Do you do that just for fun, or is that?
Well, I love Debussy. It's one of my favorite composers, and I think it can translate because there's so much color in it that it can translate so beautifully into the guitar if it's done properly. My love for Debussy started I believe it's 1987 Havana Guitar Festival that Eduardo Valenzano was playing. He actually did an arrangement of the IRS of Debussy, which I was 13 years old, so I remember listening to that, and it stuck with me, but never got the chance of having music or anything. So I said, okay, let's see what I can do, and I started, and it was a long and painful process, but it's there now, and what happened is it opened me up for doing all the transcriptions, for opening our repertoire to interesting choices, because music that is written for other instruments tends to be richer harmonically.
Yes.
And deeper into form, etc., etc., etc.
Well, that takes me to another point of how do you think the guitar can progress as an instrument in the standing of, let's say, the musical world? I don't know what that means anymore. Really.
Yeah, none of us know, I think.
Yeah.
But in my program, I try to. The good thing about when I created the program is that there was no guitar program before this,
yeah.
so I put the curriculum together, a very proactive curriculum that of my best influence from when I was in Paris, when I was in the US and Cuba, and all of the teachers that came to the Havana Festival. So it's a very important part in my curriculum, chamber music.
Yes.
Working with other musicians, because it helps you to listen and to react. Chamber music is a lot of fun. I think it's my favorite thing to do. Besides, I play solo because we all play solo.
Yes.
But there's something about the reaction time, the understanding the phrase that you're being given, and to give it back in a different way.
Yes.
So what happens is it sets you aware of your ear becomes more alert of what you're producing. That when you're playing solo, not so much. Because you're expecting, you know exactly what you want to do.
Wrapped up in what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you do practically on your course? Do you get guitarists together with string quartets?
8 semesters is a Bachelor's of Fine Arts.
Yes.
And they need to do 7 semesters of chamber music.
Wow, that's a lot.
Plus ensemble.
Yes.
So I'm not always, so I go and this semester we're going to work with a flutist. Go and find me a flutist. Yeah. And then depending on the level of the flutist he brings, then we pick repertoire and we work. And then cello, violin, even I even do trumpet, guitar and French horn.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I make them arrange something that will work if we don't have anything in the repertoire. One of the things that I do too, every semester they always have we have a master class, which is like a group class that they perform for each other, and twice a semester they need to do an arrangement and write an etude.
Wow, that's great.
So an arrangement just to expand and for them to know their instrument, their possibilities, and develop. Plus, creating a voice of their own. When they're playing an arrangement of them, and they're not following anyone else's, and they take personal pride in that, and they work harder usually in that. And an etude, just because it gives deeper understanding of what their technical issues are. And then I made them choose one topic. You're gonna do an etude on slurs. If you have a scales issues, let's do it.
It's a brilliant idea.
I got that idea from Ben Berger. He used to make
it's a brilliant idea. Yeah.
And I thought that it was very clever. And I got many great results actually, arranging wise and
very good. So do you see the future of the guitar as a solo instrument or in collaboration? And what about repertoire?
I think both. We still can maintain our soul. We are not going to lose our identity by playing with other musicians. If anything, we are enhancing and getting exposure to our instrument, to an audience that otherwise would not be aware of what we're doing. So, playing with chamber music groups and chamber music festivals, not only in guitar-related events, is a wonderful way of getting people to know you, attract a different audience, and get the world moving in a different direction and reaction towards the classical guitar. Because to the rest of the musicians, we had a fairly not too good rep for many years, and it's hard to get rid of bad impressions.
It is. Do you think that you need more repertoire for this?
Absolutely. Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. Commissioning works. It's a wonderful way of getting people to know about the instrument and be the happening. Be in the moment. When Mozart was writing, that was like the music of what was hot
at the time.
It was like the Madonna all the time. If I may say so, excuse me, all of you that don't know like Madonna. I don't have that. I just came to me. But the point is that there are good composers out there
Yes.
And we need to get them interested in writing for us.
Yes.
One of the best legacies of Segovia and Green
Yeah.
is just that they gave us a repertoire that we are
Yes.
basing all our career, most of it,
correct. Yeah.
right now. So why are we not doing that as much anymore? It puzzles me. I know the answer to that in some extent because we tend to think, well, the course of composition in the classical guitar world has detached from the expectations and the liking of the general public. But not everyone is writing music of that kind. And we can still get composers like Jorge Moreno, like you, to write pieces that are accessible, yet new and they're happening. And we need to support like living composers.
Yes.
We need to like get them interested and get them working. You know, person like David Starrman. David Starrman did his whole career playing new music.
New music.
And Redondi.
Yes.
but it's a remarkable achievement
It is.
of getting people interested in writing for our instruments, and also it's a very good career choice because generally composers are very interested in proactive and very proactive in getting their music out there. So they will get your concerts for you to play their music. You just need to make sure that you like their music.
Yes, right. Well,
Play the
before
music
you
that you
ask
like,
them, otherwise you can get stuck. Yeah.
Exactly. But, you know, and even if you commission something that is not of your liking, still play it.
Yes.
Still play it. You have things to learn from that. You know, otherwise you wouldn't get that experience. And then maybe you will play only once.
Yes.
But then you did it, and then you can move on, and the composer will be pleased. You know.
Well, actually, finally, because we have to go and teach things now.
Yeah.
When you played all over the world, really, and you played some amazing gigs, I think.
Yeah.
How do you go about getting them? Do people just come to you, or do you particularly with chamber music, it's not always easy to convince other musicians to.
I've been particularly lucky in that department. I don't have a manager.
Yeah.
I used to, but not anymore because having a full-time professor, I can't just go and play every time that they give me concerts. So at the end, I'm getting plenty of concerts throughout the year, and I manage them all myself. Every day I do like 1 hour of PR, answer emails and do things to get my playing out there. What was the other question?
Well, I was just wondering, how you got together with other chamber musicians.
With other chamber musicians. Well, in your community, there, right where you live, there are several other musicians, and what you need to make yourself is indispensable. They need to hear you.
Yeah.
You go and just approach them. You'll be amazed, actually, how many of them will say, "Yeah, sure." You know, if not, you won't tell them, let's do a concert. You go there, it's like, can we just maybe read some music and have some fun? And then when they actually hear you, then they will themselves actually will tell you, you know what, do you think we could do a concert? And that has happened in more occasions than one.
It's happened to me too. So, you do have to make the connections. Very often it's the guitarist who has to go and find other people.
Well,
And
we are in that position. It's okay.
Yes. No, it's fine.
It's totally fine. Also, find music and things that are lesser, not popular, but lesser. I have very odd duos chamber music that I do. I play with a Brazilian recorder, Crea Galama, and it's an amazing combination of things that you can do with recording. Very beautiful. I have a very great duo with a mandolinist, Italian mandolinist, Carlo Alonso. We tour all over the US. We play it a lot. And he's quite remarkable. And we're playing music that otherwise I would have no idea.
And you learned.
That even existed. Exactly.
And it's great fun.
It's amazing fun, And those are niche that I have created for myself on an audience that otherwise you would not been able to approach or you would not know. So and there is an audience for everything.
I agree.
And if you become now at this point, that I'm a little bit better known, if you may say so, then people contact me, just to play chamber music, and I don't turn anyone down. I will say, well, I'm very busy. Let's try to find a space at a time. Let's rehearse. And, you know, even if they're not at your caliber, you know, you play because it's beautiful. That you help them move through and get better in their playing, and then, you know, if anything, let's say that if anything, you learn what not to do.
Yes.
In situations like that, you know. So it's a learning experience and I think we need to support each other. You know, the community, we are like so secluded and separated. We need to expand, open our community. We need to like support each other's work and try to, you know, because if we don't do it for each other, who will?
Yeah.
You know.
So very, very finally, what do you think is the most important quality about being a guitarist in particular?
Well, I don't think being a guitarist is a good quality. I think being a musician has to come first, and guitar is second.
Yes.
So, you know, listen to orchestral work, listen to piano, listen to other instruments, wind instruments that will teach you how to phrase and how to breathe and how to play, and you will convey that into your guitar playing, and it will be beyond. You need to make the guitar sing, and to make the guitar sing, you need to sing yourself with other musicians.
Great. Okay, thank you, Rene.
Thanks.
Lovely.